What's going on, guys? I'm Cody.
And I'm Nick.
And welcome to the Raw Smack, now available on every major podcasting platform from iTunes to Spotify, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Wherever
and
your
of course
podcasts
on
are
YouTube.
available.
Yeah. Yeah, where podcasts are available, yeah. Anyway, glad you guys can join us today. In what is going to be a little bit different episode, it's not going to be strictly a Raw and Smackdown review. It is also a Royal Rumble predictions episode. Mainly because Raw and Smackdown this week was not very interesting, and I'm pretty sure we're going to review those in like 30 minutes. So we might as well include the Royal Rumble. Well, yeah, but at least you can comment on the key points where I'm going to talk about. Because I'm not talking about everything.
You're going to get a first-hand reaction because I haven't seen or heard everything that's happened on the show. I've seen some, but not all.
Okay, well, yeah, so we're going to quickly go through that. I'm going to try to only talk about things I think affect the show. Because, unfortunately, both shows were a slog to get through. It took me a while just to watch the recordings of both shows. So let's move over to my handy-dandy page with the Raw results. Because I couldn't even take notes because it was so boring. So, Raw starts off with a promo with McIntyre, hyping up his match and talking about recovering from COVID-19. Bill Goldberg comes out, does a short little promo, which was pretty decent in the sense that he only said like 3 words, so you can't really fuck that up. He seemed like Goldberg for once, instead of the guy just trying to talk, and read a scripted promo, even when it doesn't apply, which I'll give him shit for that until, I feel like it, because, come on, he's been in the business long. Yeah, well, he's been in the business long enough. He should probably know not to say a scripted promo when it doesn't make sense. Even these people that have to, rely on scripted promos should realize I may get yelled at, but I should change it, because if you want to blame Keith Lee and whatnot for and Drew for because I think it was their match a couple weeks ago. They went over. So
I don't care. They put on a great match.
It was a good match, yeah. So I don't give a flying fuck anyway. But anyway, they have that short little thing. Miz and John Morrison come out. They started antagonizing them. They hip toss each of them into the ring. They each hit their finisher. Goldberg hits a spear, McIntyre with the Claymore kick, and then they stare off in the middle of the ring. After beating the crap out of them. So I have something to say about.
Hold on. So
what?
You're saying that Goldberg and McIntyre work together to beat up Miz and Morrison?
Yes, they each hit a finisher on one of them. So it's not like they took a while. They just each hit a finisher.
All
and
that
then,
sounds like to me is them going, well, Drew and Goldberg are both faces, so we can't really have them beating each other.
Well, yeah, that's a big issue. I don't know why they're not going to just make Goldberg... Because I think Goldberg refuses to be a heel now. Just make him a heel.
He doesn't want to be the bad guy in front of his son.
That's more. I think he's more or less said that in interviews.
But I don't know. I guess in a parent's eyes, you don't want your kid to see you as a bad person.
But
if that's the case, then
are you keeping kayfabe with your kid? Because if so, I kind of respect that a little bit more. But at the same time, be a bad guy. Are you is he kayfabing his little kid? Yeah, wrestling's real, son. I'm awesome.
It's real, yeah. I've been a champion. Yep, I got tased once and finger poked.
I beat the Fiend.
I beat the bad guy. I'm a hero.
Anyway, we move on. I guess this applies because this is setting up some storylines for the Women's Royal Rumble. Commercial break. Charlotte Flair runs into Ric Flair showing Lacey Evans some wrestling moves. This it seems a bit toned down, which I actually think's a lot better. There's still some weird sexual overtones about it, which I don't like. It's weird.
Makes no sense.
Like, it actually does make sense, but not for wrestling today, and it just ruins it. Like, Ric Flair has always been the, high profile dude type, but he's old, and it's weird. It's creepy. It's creepy and weird. This is like Attitude Era shit, and as much as people like to talk about the Attitude Era being great, this is the type of shit that's terrible. It's not good. But anyway, Charlotte does a promo like, you've been in some darkest places, but this is your darkest place in your life. And I'm like, no. I know Ric Flair's career in his real life. This is nowhere near. Like say this is real. Like, wrestling is real. This is nowhere near the darkest point of his life.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go into the darkest points because that's not something I want to talk about. But Ric Flair has been in some dark places. Like, technically one of those moments was mentioned on Raw, I think by Paige, in a very, very horrible promo. Was it like 3-4 years ago?
She said a very horrible promo?
Yeah, stuff that really shouldn't be used in a promo about her family. About her brother, But anyway. Moving on, Charlotte, right after that, has a match with versus Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax on the outside. It's an okay match, but Charlotte Flair wins by disqualification, and Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke run down and break up a double team that they're doing on her, the heels. Like, they get pissed off, whatever. It turns into a 6-woman tag match that turns into 2 matches because Shayna Baszler got counted out. I don't know if this was planned or not, but because this turned the first match into like a 40-minute segment.
I don't know why. Like, my brain just like, there's countouts in tag team matches.
Yeah, as long as it's not a tornado tag, I think, because then it's usually a no disqualification.
I don't. I the thought of it just sounds stupid in my head because you would think like, oh, they beat this person down, left them outside the ring. Oh, look, their teammates picking them up and putting them back in the ring.
But yeah, it turns into 2 matches. They're not very good. And then Nia Jax decides to drop Dana Brooke on her head with some weird chokeslam powerbomb move. Which coincidentally, which is funny because Dana Brooke is not big.
Yeah.
And Nia Jax is so huge. I don't understand why she has so much trouble using said strength. I don't think it's strength, and that's sad to say. And honestly, they need to take her off TV for a year. Tell her to go to the Performance Center, learn a little bit more, hit the gym, turn that into muscle and actual functioning strength, do some yoga to get some flexibility, bring her back, because in my ideal world, Nia Jax should be a fucking monster and be one of the most over people in, female wrestling, or just wrestling in general, because she's damn near bigger than most of the fucking guys. Like, get her some functioning strength.
Yeah.
And teach her how to be safer, which makes this even worse, because for some reason, I don't know the wrestler's name, the chick's name on NXT. She does the same move on NXT. The same exact thing. But it's so fluid. And she does it so safe that the other person does look.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, she's half your size and she can do this. She is half your, though she is toned. She's got some muscles.
Fair enough.
I don't know the wrestler's name. I'll have to bring that up if we ever start talking about NXT. I just wanted to bring that up because same move in the same week, one person probably hurt someone again. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Dana actually having a concussion, but she got slammed on her head. So I'm just glad it could have been worse.
Taken back there and checked for a concussion, but
surprisingly didn't have one.
I haven't seen anything pop up.
But anyway, I don't care about the Retribution storyline with Xavier Woods. R-Truth backstage segment. And then that turned into a segment with the Hurt Business in the ring. That's not very interesting or It's not interesting to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this actually was I'd say the one decent match, or two matches. Sheamus versus John Morrison with The Miz outside. They end up having a match. Sheamus beats John Morrison. They play up the entire match that John Morrison was attacking Sheamus's leg, I think his left leg, after he was coming off the top rope. John Morrison hit a drop kick on it. Miz gets pissed and, says, basically like riles him into a handicap match where he's facing both of them. So, there was a lot of this on both shows now I think about it. Like, hey, let's have one match and let's have another match with more people. It's like, let's get a bunch of people in the
writing.
Well, it's not just that. This kind of happens almost every Rumble year. Like, you get a bunch of matches and repeat matches where you're trying to get a bunch of people in the ring.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, these are the storylines we'll see in the Rumble. People will tag team on another, or there'll be a bunch of people in the ring.
They want to power them up.
But Miz and Morrison win. As Morrison just gets destroyed when Miz wins with his finisher. So, oh, now I see it. The Ric Flair helping Lacey Evans thing, backstage segment, I guess, happened here. But anyway, that still applies to that whole storyline.
Yeah.
No one cares about R-Truth versus AJ Styles.
What?
Yeah,
Why would they shit on R-Truth like that?
Hey.
Nah, look, I don't hate AJ Styles. I think he's a great performer, and he does have a lot of good matches. But two things: one, terrible finisher; two, most boring championship reign I've ever seen in my life.
By the way, which finisher are we talking about? Because somehow he has 3 fucking finishers.
The one where he backwards 69 them. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that's always been horrible. I don't know if anyone actually likes it.
Well, no,
use the skull crushing, not skull crushing, the calf crusher or the phenomenal forearm.
Those are fine. Those are fine. A little overused with the phenomenal forearm, but
all finishers are overused.
He's not big enough for that main finisher to look like it hurts. If someone like Big Show did that, I would be terrified. Yeah, but
the Styles Clash.
He doesn't outweigh almost anybody in that company.
Yeah. Anyway, move on to the Gauntlet match. This one actually does apply because it affects what matches we get in certain storylines at the Rumble. Riddle versus Hurt Business in Gauntlet match. So first match is Riddle versus Shelton Benjamin. This is the longest match. It's a pretty decent match. There's a little segment near the end before when the match basically ends. There's a bunch of roll-ups. Alexander goes to distract the referee as Shelton Benjamin gets his roll-up, so he screws Benjamin, it seems, from winning.
Oh, they're setting up for the breakup.
Yeah, so Shelton Benjamin loses. They start fighting outside the ring. MVP surprisingly goes second, but I can see why they did that. He gets in the ring. They're still arguing, so MVP is trying to tell them to shut the hell up, and be on the side of the ring and, do the old heel thing and help if they have to. And they're still fighting. For some reason, the referee rings the bell and he's not looking. MVP gets rolled up. 1, 2, 3. End of the match. Or wait. No, sorry. It's not. Sorry. It was a roll up into a knee bar, I believe. Yeah, a knee bar. It was a submission. My bad. This was not a... I'm getting the next finish confused. But anyway, Cedric Alexander goes in, and MVP and Shelton Benjamin are pissed. They're both pissed, and it looks like they're kicking Cedric Alexander out
Would
of
you
their
say
business.
that they're hurt?
Yeah.
But that's none of my business.
Anyway, Shelton, wow. Cedric looks like he's showing off during the match, and then it's an okay, 2-3 minute match. It's probably longer than that. I didn't care at this point, because I like the Hurt Business, and I like Riddle as a wrestler. I just hate his stupid gimmick. So he beat Cedric with a roll-up. So now he's, facing Bobby Lashley at the Rumble for the title, even though I've yet to see anyone list that. It's like everyone else forgot that he won that match and that number one contender, shot. Lashley comes out as he's going back, from winning, the whole go up the ramp, I won, celebrate type deal. Lashley comes out. Apparently, I didn't know he's using the full Nelson as a finisher now, which really hides how much functioning strength he's lost. And Riddle sells that shit great, man. He acted like he was being like ragdolled and dying. Like it was perfect. I was laughing my ass.
Sitting at home watching, going, "I'm proud, my son." Even though he wasn't the first one to break it, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. Dude, you will not believe how many people get mad when they talk about who broke the Master Lock first.
Shawn Michaels clearly did. Like,
nah, if you're looking at technicality, yeah, Shawn Michaels did it first. But if you're looking at full powerhouse, then no, it was Bobby Lashley.
But anyway,
good days.
He does that and then slams him against the barricade, yada yada yada. I think we're. Oh, I understand why they decided to just do this now, but this one kind of annoys me, and this doesn't apply in the Rumble, so I'll bring it up. Raw is definitely going to be a longer one just because more stuff happened, which is weird to say. Since there's going to be no crowd, they're not going for a lot of surprises, apparently. Edge declares he's going to be in the Royal Rumble by a promo. Well, I would have liked that to have been a surprise, even for people, like yeah, there's no one there.
Yes
but,
and no.
A lot of us, still want to be surprised at home.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. But, I mean, who really would have been surprised by it? I mean...
So I would have. He's been injured, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been shocked him coming back. I think I'll make my predictions on who's coming back when we get to that part. I don't want to jump into that yet.
I'm just trying to get through this as fast as possible. I know this is taking a little while because Raw had surprisingly more important stuff that happened. But anyway, Asuka versus Alexa. Oh man. Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. They have a pretty decent match where Alexa's doing this weird smiling stuff as they're wrestling, even when she's being like hurt. I don't personally like this stuff, but it was pretty funny. Like, and I guess I forgot because this page I have up since I didn't take notes. El Randy did a promo earlier in the
El Rando.
El Rando. He's still wearing the dumb mask, but anyway, they have a match. He hit all the beats. I don't remember specifically if last week they did this, but before she turned into super goth Alexa with the the creepy one, which by the way,
you mean Bray Bliss?
Like, man, that stare, man. And by the way, it does some things to me that I'm not proud of. When she
rubs her lips.
But before that happens, they have this thing where you see the original Alexa Bliss, like not like singy, like rhymey one, and then creepy one. It's like she's crying in the ring, and Asuka actually does look confused. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This is so dumb, but I'm like laughing, so at least I'm getting some enjoyment
Asuka
out of life.
probably had that face she had the week before where she was like...
Yes, that's actually more or less what she has. Like, you're a terrible actor, but it works.
I almost puffed my hair up doing that.
But, she's like, Alexa's like crying because it's like original Alexa. Like, she's possessed by, I'm saying Sister Abigail, not the Fiend. Like, and it's starting to make more sense. Like, she's possessed by Sister Abigail, and yada yada. Sister Abigail takes over.
Sister Abigail is the Fiend.
That wouldn't surprise me. But, she turns into creepy Alexa. She's about to win the match and win the championship. And then El Randy, without his mask, appears in the ring with his horrible burn, things. And then hits an RKO. But what I like is Alexa didn't look scared as she turned around. But it was still dumb. But
well, I hope she didn't look scared. She knew it was coming.
Well, yeah. Well, I meant like she was, because she was in creepy Alexa mode, so it's like, oh, someone behind me, I'll look around.
She should have RKO'd him.
It's ready. That would have been great, or her sister Abigail, but
I would have fucking lost it.
They would be shitting all over Randy though, but they've been shitting on Randy for a while anyway.
Well, not necessarily. She's supposed to be like this supernatural being, so
I don't like supernatural beings anyway.
Who's
just because the Undertaker worked.
Power boost.
Like, the Fiend sort of works as much as I don't like supernatural beings.
Yeah,
I honestly do dislike them quite a bit. Like, why are you wrestling? Like, with the Undertaker, I don't know why, but it's believable.
There's just this random ghost out there called Sister Abigail who's just like,
y'all know my
what?
son.
Yeah, like, y'all know what? Like, nobody ever possesses the wrestling scene. That's how I'm going to be famous.
Spread my word in wrestling, which
word.
has died. Yes, spread my word in this medium that used to have like 6 million people watching a night and now barely averages 2 million.
They will remember me, Bartholomew.
But anyway, that's Raw. So we move over to SmackDown. Okay, SmackDown results. Daniel Bryan starts off the show. Kind of gives the same promo he had last week, so I was a little disappointed, and he actually messed it up. But it's Daniel Bryan. In a lot of ways, he's like Bret Hart. They're not really great talkers, but you love them in the ring, and they're believable as, good guys. Well, maybe Bret's not that believable. He actually does seem kind of like a douchebag, and it showed near the end of his career. But,
yeah, he deserved it. Daniel did it.
Anyway, AJ Styles and Omos comes out, and I gotta ask you, he's a Raw superstar, right? And they're talking about this like quarterly exchange. Has this happened before, where like people come over for one episode or something?
I thought
once a quarter.
I thought they fixed that rule.
I was so confused watching this. Actually, it kind of turned me off.
I'll have to do a little bit of research on it, so maybe in next week's episode we can talk about it again. But I'm absolutely
you've been the
sure
one who's been
Fox
watching more often than I have lately. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure when Fox took over, the whole they were splitting the brands. People that were on one roster were staying on that roster unless you were like a tag team champion that flips over, because I believe there's just one for the girls and one for the guys in there.
Yeah.
So they don't have the split champions anymore.
No, they do. Like,
do they?
Is it? I don't know. I'm confused.
I know the girls' women's tag teams don't. They flip back and forth.
I don't know if there's multiple. The tag team titles don't mean shit for both anyway.
I can't remember if the guys have split like they used to. I don't know. Look, WWE's already proven to me that the tag team division is dead to them because they're doing what they did to the Cruiserweight division to the tag team division. Oh, we're going to put you on 205 Live. And
it pisses me off so much.
And look, I'm sorry. Like, nobody's watching 205 Live.
No. I don't. I think I watched 205 Live the first couple weeks.
I've watched like one match of one show, and it's not the. I don't blame the Cruiserweight division. I'm not going to blame the tag team division. It's one of those things. I'm not watching 400 wrestling shows.
Exactly. Why I stopped.
And they have NXT, they have Raw and SmackDown, and now you're going, hey, we have 205 Live, and it's like, no one wants to see this. Just put it on your 3-hour Raw show. Fill the time slots. Give us something else other than talk shows. I'm tired of talk shows. The talk shows are so stupid. The little segments are dumb, and they amount to nothing.
We really do need to do one episode a week where we just rant about specific topics.
Nah, dude. Like, we'll make a 3-hour episode at least of talk shows.
Anyway. AJ comes out. They have their little spat. Styles talks about being the gatekeeper for Raw because for some reason he's allowed to declare, but everyone else who tries to declare over there, they have to face Styles and they end up losing. It was that I found weird. I did mention that I think last week. And
one thing that we have to do, okay, we have to go over. Since you said that, we have to go over who's lost to him that we're trying to declare, and see how many of them pop up in the Royal Rumble because the roster's not big enough.
I hope you remember because I don't.
We'll look it up. There has to be a list somewhere.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to remember exactly what it says. you brain.
I have stumped him.
Anyway, he accuses Daniel of having one foot out the door because of, talking about how long his career was. He's in a suit, yada, yada, yada. And Bryan says he's not planning on leaving and challenges AJ to a match. He says he'd love to. He'd like to have one more warm-up for the Rumble. Shoves Daniel Bryan. Bryan looks like he's going to get up and hit him. Omos is standing in the way, blocking the way. And Daniel Bryan says if AJ's really ready to fight, he'd leave Omos in the locker room. And with or without the dude, he's going to kick his ass. That's exactly what he said. I noticed that it seems like SmackDown is given a little bit more freedom in terms of curse words, I guess. Even if it's just small words Fox. Here and there. I don't really care. But to be fair, SmackDown's just usually better anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it in that way. Bayley has an interview backstage and brags about hurting Belair, and then they end up having their match after the commercial break. They have a really good match, in my opinion, for a SmackDown match, with Bianca Belair winning by pinfall. Post-match, Bianca's interviewed on the stage and talks about, she's just hyping up how she's probably gonna win the Rumble.
She's gonna come out there and plow everybody. Look, and I know, WWE won't like me saying this, but I hope they let her go out there and Benoit it.
Yeah.
I hope she enters at number 1 and just plows through the whole Rumble.
This kind of applies to what I was thinking the other day in a weird way. So, my favorite elimination in Rumble
Big
history.
Show is Nia Jax.
You knew where I was going. So my favorite elimination in history is Benoit, dragging, Big Show out of the ring with that headlock and then sliding underneath. I'm like, they should redo that with Nia Jax. I don't care who wins. They should do that.
I don't know. It was just one of the most believable eliminations that I've ever seen. Because the whole time, and I give credit to Big Show and Benoit there, because overall, they could have just been Big Show, just push yourself over, let him have it.
Yeah.
No, they didn't do that. They let
slow,
it sit there for
methodical.
a minute. Yeah.
He's just cranking his head and grabbing him. It's they could do that, again, and oh man, it sucks they don't have a crowd because that crowd would pop so loud if they did that.
Right. But
anyway,
it would be awesome.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. We move on to the next match. This sort of matters, probably for the Rumble. I don't think there's an actual match. I'll mention it real quick. King Corbin makes an entrance and is blindsided by Dominic. It looks like we're getting another repeat of last week, except this week Dominic's even more aggressive and gets a little bit more offense in because he's supposed to be super energetic and being an aggressive little guy.
My dad gave me his energy.
No, I don't think he's still not listening to his dad because his dad was on commentary.
Everybody, lend me your energy.
They have a little bit longer match than I think they had last time, but Baron Corbin still wins within the days. Post match,
I don't like Dominic.
Ray basically, I think Corbin attacks Ray. I forget, but Ray ends up putting Corbin into the ring post, and then hits a seated senton from the apron. and then checks on his son. Yada yada yada. We'll move on. Backstage segments with Sonya Deville and Big E and Morrison and Miz, which is just no, it sucks. Commercial. I don't know.
You forgot how to talk.
Sorry, I'm reading this because I didn't take notes. And I don't really remember much what happened, even though this...
I don't know. And I just go silent.
Anyway, we'll just move on to the next thing that actually mattered. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns had their little interview via split screen, where they're basically... They're hashing on who's, like, a better family man, it seems like. And... at least that's what it seemed like at first. I don't know.
Look, as much as I don't like when the wrestlers get into like bringing their families into wrestling, I'm absolutely sure Roman's been beating the shit out of his family for like the last like 3 months. So
well, that's part of what like
give this one to Kevin.
But most of the interview is actually not very good for both people until like the last line. Or Kevin Owens basically goes in this little diatribe that, you know, this is so babyface way of saying this, but he's like, you know, basically accused Roman of being a guy that's always like kind of been like this, and in a lot of ways, like him wearing that vest was just a way to like cover up like what he was, you know, like.
Fat.
But anyway, he mounted him. He mounted him. I think the line was to like a Broadway version of a mafia boss or something. Yeah. But it was. I didn't like the entire segment, in my opinion. Like it was just you could tell it was overscripted. It did not seem like either guy came up with their promo, and again. I don't understand having a manager if the manager's not going to talk. Why is Heyman behind him on a video conference between these two?
He's waiting on Brock to return.
And like you got Roman, like he doesn't understand, Paul. He doesn't understand. It's like,
he doesn't understand why I'm talking and you're not.
Anyway. We move on to the Smackdown's version of a bunch of matches after the first match. So AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan have their match. It's a pretty decent match until it gets interrupted by Sami Zayn coming out first, and then by the way, Cesaro's on commentary, I believe. Big E comes out. There's a whole kerfuffle by the ring. Daniel Bryan ends up hitting the heels with a suicide dive because Styles got out of the way because the match is happening. Mm-hmm. And they come in, the heels and the faces start fighting in the ring. Heels get knocked to the outside, you know, so it turns into a tag match. I should have said Shinsuke Nakamura came out. There was a really nice moment where Nakamura's hitting someone, and then him and Cesaro like face off, like act like they're about to fight because you know they were just tag team partners like a couple weeks ago, but they didn't hit each other yet. But then we go to the tag match, and they're the two first people in the ring wrestling each other, and I'm like, I know he's the face in the situation, but do you think he would they both agree to be fighting each other? And it looks like they're beating the crap out of each other here in the ring. Anyway, that match gets interrupted by Ms. Morrison, but Otis comes out. And then you got AJ Styles, Cesaro, John Morrison, Sami Zayn, and The Miz versus Big E, Daniel Bryan, Otis, Sheamus, and Shinsuke. I guess Sheamus came down? I don't remember. I don't know. It's all a blur to me. That turns into a big kerfuffle, which was not very interesting to watch, in my opinion. Basically, the heels are starting to, you know, beat Sheamus down after the match is basically over, after the faces win.
Why is Sheamus on SmackDown?
Again,
why is
I don't know.
Well, Miz would make sense
It's
because
like
the money to make.
Some quarterly invitational. There was a lot of I think they realize Raw is so shit that they have to advertise their shitty Raw wrestlers on SmackDown.
Yes, but I could see that because the Rumble's supposed to be everybody against everybody.
Yeah, but it's still
Yeah,
that's a brand slate, damn it.
It's dumb, but for 1 week I'll accept it. Okay, it's only because it's the week right before the Rumble.
Okay. Anyway, post-match, the heels are beating down Sheamus, and then Strowman comes out and beats the crap out of everyone, runs them off. He's back. Okay,
Another
cool. That's
shocker that could have been for the Royal Rumble.
Yes. He comes, I assume.
I'm telling you.
See him at...
No, once again, I'm getting ahead of myself. No,
continue. Well, to be fair, that was the last segment. So we're moving on to the Rumble predictions. But first, I'm going to give both shows a grade, and then you can tell me what you would have thought if you had to watch these two shows. Raw was a 3, and SmackDown was a 4. They were both equally basically bad. SmackDown was a little bit more.
It sounds like bearable. They just didn't have anything to go into the Rumble wise.
Technically, I should say they both wouldn't have been 4, but my grading, Raw always loses a point just from being 3 hours. So if they ever want to be a 10, they have to have an 11 out of 10 show for me. I'm an asshole. That extra hour ruins it. I take off an entire point just for the extra hour. I shouldn't have to watch, an extra hour of crappier matches and commercials.
Overall, it sounds like they just they were like, yeah, the Rumble's this weekend. We're not really going to advance anything storyline wise for the shows. So
not really.
They just kind of kicked themselves in the ass and said, we'll take the hit because the Rumble's this weekend. It'll make up for it. Blah 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 blah. Jumping into the Rumble match card though.
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
Well,
because I just talked for a little bit longer than I thought I was going to.
So as far as the match card shows, there is only 6 matches scheduled.
Yeah, they don't have Riddle's and Bobby Lashley's match on any of the cards I've seen.
We've had a lot of shows where they've had matches like that, where nobody knew a match was going to happen there. So,
but we should know this happened because we had a match to determine this match on Raw.
Did they say it was going to happen at the Rumble, or he just gets a shot in general?
Honestly, I think that's actually what they said, but I assumed it was going to be at the Rumble.
That's fine. It just could have been a not updated list. Anyways, so going into it, the WWE Championship
are we
match.
leaving the Rumbles for last, right?
Yes. I got you.
Oh, you want to start with the WWE Championship match and not the tag team title match and then?
I'm just going down the list after the Rumble matches.
Okay.
We'll get to the good stuff first. We know what you want.
To be fair, I don't know.
All right, okay. We'll bow to Cody's demands. I'll start from the bottom of the list. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match: Asuka and Charlotte Flair versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax.
I wonder if you're using the same webpage I am to look at this, because
it's actually not bottom of the list. Sasha Banks matches, but Sasha's never the bottom. Next on mine. Anyways, personally, I could not care any less about this match. I see Asuka as a title holder for Becky Lynch to come back. Charlotte,
dude, you're not the first person I heard to say that. Yes, this is exactly what it feels like. Asuka's. Oh shit!
What's up? Not much. We're recording an episode for our podcast. Nah, you're good, man. You're good. I'll hit you up after.
Maybe we should have thought about this predicament and the possibility of it happening.
The stuff you don't think about. I'll fix it. We'll put it in a lobby and it says recording or something.
But yeah.
Man, I'll hit you up after we're done. All right, say it, man.
Only on the Raw Talk do you get this
CD scratched. Anyways,
it probably won't get skipped.
Yeah, back to Charlotte Flair being useless to me. Why Shayna Baszler?
For Charlotte Flair.
No, you guys don't understand. A year ago, if you had asked me about Charlotte Flair, one of my top prospects in the business. I loved her. Now they're just completely shitting on her, and she's taking it. And I just can't deal with it. But we're not going to get into that because I could spend hours talking about how I hate how they're doing her. Anyways, I don't know why Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are still, a tag team. They're two different wrestlers that should be dominating their roster. And they've done this to them. AKA showing, we don't care about them. They've proved their worth to us. They'll be back later.
It's kind of been like that. If you're not the 4 horsewomen,
right.
You're not really used. Or Ronda Rousey.
Overall, I think Shayna and Nia win this match.
Oh yeah.
They just need to. Asuka and Charlotte, they don't need to be a tag team.
They're always going to be featured.
Right. With Asuka being a title holder, also a pawn from the tag teams, I just don't think it's fair to the women's roster.
Especially for her holding 2 belts.
Exactly. And I understand, like I said, she's a title place holder for Becky for when she comes back. But
she doesn't defend either of them.
Exactly.
Well, I guess she does defend the SmackDown one.
She does, but it just...
Or Raw. I
don't know. It's just not interesting. They could have gave it to somebody and let them have a nice little title run for a while, but I understand what they're doing. But yeah, I give the match to Shayna and Nia.
Yeah. To be honest, this is the one match I keep forgetting is on the card. I literally keep forgetting this is one of the matches on the card. I have no interest in seeing it. I am not as hard on Charlotte as you, but to be fair, if she's been unbearable to watch, I wouldn't know because I haven't been watching. I have a different reason to dislike her, but it's not her fault. It's more booking. They sent her down to NXT and ruined a lot of NXT women. Like Rhea Ripley and others, should already be on the main roster, and Rhea Ripley should have already won a main roster title, in my opinion. So...
Yes. I agree with
and
that.
Then
I don't
Shayna,
watch much of NXT,
I think she beat. Didn't she beat Shayna at WrestleMania last year?
Yep.
And Shayna should have won that title last year.
Yep.
So it's not her fault. Of course they're gonna book her like this.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Second generational to
Charlotte.
Ric Flair.
I don't dislike Charlotte as a wrestler. I once again, I think she's one of the best in there. Definitely one of the best, technical wrestlers. There's not a lot of people in there that beat her. But it's the same thing. Like I had a problem with Danny Bryant. Danny Bryant is and this is my opinion, and many others, that we've heard from. But he is one of the best wrestlers in his generation of wrestlers.
That is definitely one of my opinions. Yes.
Their characters have been crap, and that's why when people ask me, "Do you like Danny Bryant?" No. As a wrestler, fantastic. I'll watch any of his matches. I think he does a wonderful job. Character-wise, same thing as Charlotte. It's going down the drain. But moving on from that, like I said, I give Shayna and Nia.
I never said who I thought was going to win.
I was gonna say.
Just because, I want to be contrarian, and I honestly did see this happening. Charlotte and Asuka are somehow going to win.
Oh yeah,
they're going to hold on to that. So
let me be clear.
I'm going with them.
If we're going by who I want to win, I want Shayna and Nia to win, even though I don't like Nia Jax.
I was about to say, is there a way where Nia doesn't get anything and just let Shayna hold on to both tag team titles?
But if we're going by how the WWE is writing their stuff and everything, I don't see Asuka and Charlotte losing this. But we can hope.
Yeah.
Moving on to the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match. Sasha Banks versus Carmella. Look, overall...
This is not going to be much of the match.
Sasha's winning this match. I hate to call it this because I love both these women.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the joke match of the night. I think her little...
I think her... Because, spoiler, I think we both already said it. And this kind of talks about the Women's Royal Rumble. We both know Bianca Belair is winning that, right?
Yeah.
And it's clear that she's going to be wrestling Sasha at the Rumble.
Look, I love Carmella, and I would have no problem seeing her holding another title. But this is the boss's time. Sasha has been pushed down so many times. And she's finally getting the push that I think she deserved, years back.
Yeah.
They're not going to let Carmella take it over. I hope they put on a good match. I really do. But
I think they will.
I give this one to Sasha.
Yeah, same with me. Carmella usually has at least decent matches. I don't think she's ever been on one of the top performers. she has this weird thing of having manservants. I'm starting to notice. Ellsworth.
R-Truth, Great Value R-Truth.
Yeah. Now, wait, are we calling Reginald Great Value R-Truth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, look, and I don't want anybody to take offense to that. When I say this, it's because literally everything he does is quirky and goofy, just like R-Truth, but
Except with the
R-Truth
French
had
accent?
character behind it. So when R-Truth did it, it was all,
It was R-Truth.
It was all
R-Truth
right.
is
Yeah,
just
you can
insane.
accept it. And you see this guy, and you're like, you're a joke.
You're a crazy Frenchman.
Yeah. But moving on from that, I'm assuming you say Sasha also? Or did you say Sasha also?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I basically said that when you mentioned that it was a match. Like, it's Sasha. Let's not kid ourselves and overthink this.
Yeah, we're not going to dive into that one too hard. Moving on from that, the Universal Championship Last Man Standing match with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens.
Oh, God. This is going to be the match of the night. It is clearly going to be the best match.
Hopefully.
There's no hope.
My prediction for the match is, of course, Uso is going to come out and help Roman Reigns. The last man standing, no disqualification. At that point, one of two things in my mind is happening. One that I want to happen and one that I don't want to happen. The other Uso returning and helping Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he's against Roman because he doesn't believe he's head of the table. That I do not want to happen. The Uso stuff is too much. He needs to come back. They need to form their tag team back up, and we need to bring the tag team division back.
Yeah, surprisingly, not having the Usos as a tag team is part of the reason why the tag team division
is hurting.
As much as I hated them being the main focus all the time, them and the New Day, and no one else, but at this point, they don't have anyone else, so they need those two to build up the tag team division. But anyway, continue.
What I want to happen, and what I think fans would go crazy for, is I want Sami Zayn to come out there and help Kevin. Now, I've talked this.
It's not gonna happen.
I know.
He's
but,
a heel.
Hold on, just hold on.
I know where you're going.
His whole spill right now is the injustice of things. He's been screwed out of his champion. The company's looking down on him. Blah 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 blah. Technically, right now, the same thing's happened to Kevin Owens with Roman Reigns.
Except worse. Kevin actually has been screwed out of his, out of the title.
It could still technically, story-wise, make sense for Sami Zayn to come out here and, it's injustice. Kevin's getting screwed just like I was getting screwed. He's not out there because he's face or anything. He's out there because he's a heel. And it's I'm here because the company screwed me. And they screwed you. But I'm here for my own doing. I'm here to screw over the head of the table so that, hey, Owens gets the belt. Look, Sami Zayn has a greater chance of beating Kevin Owens than he does Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So I think it's going to be a personal greed thing. Yeah,
so
if it does
who's
happen.
your prediction?
Roman's winning this match.
So?
Look, I love Kevin Owens, and if they let him win this, I'll be jumping for joy, man. I will scream until I can't scream anymore.
It's a good thing we don't plan on recording a reaction as it's happening, because if that happens, the pop would literally deafen everyone.
But I'm sorry, Roman Reigns is Vince's butt plug right now, so.
To be fair, Roman Reigns is actually pretty interesting to watch finally. So
I think
even if he wins, I'm not.
If the Uso wasn't there, he should be coming out every week and wrecking people and leaving. Yeah, when he first came back, dude, I was pumped. I was like, they changed his character. He's ripped.
Do you think they're gonna debut his new entrance music tonight?
Yes.
Or we still have to wait until a little while? Because
if they don't,
if anyone doesn't know, he's confirmed he's getting new entrance music.
If they don't do it
I think it's gonna be WrestleMania.
It's not gonna happen until WrestleMania. But I think it will happen tonight. At least I hope so. I just want to hear it.
Okay,
so your choice on who you think's gonna win.
Who do I think's gonna win?
Yeah.
See. Okay. Kevin Owens, he is a top babyface in my opinion right now, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. You've had him lose 2 matches in a row. I believe it's been 2. I really think that you should allow him to win. He doesn't even have to hold the belt a long time. But obviously they're gonna want a heel going into WrestleMania so they can build up a babyface. Whoever wins the Rumble, maybe, to go and beat Roman. From what I hear, Roman is the only person whose match is actually, as far as I've heard, like set in stone for not Rumble, for the WrestleMania. They apparently know that, or maybe it's just he's in a match, but I think they actually know who's going to wrestle.
We'll dive into the Rumble part of this, but whoever wins the Rumble, it's going to be going for Roman. But we'll dive into that. But anyways, moving on from that.
I didn't say he was going to win, so...
Oh, yeah, you were just saying Kevin, so I figured you were going to say Kevin.
Yeah, actually, I was going to... I'm just trying to be contrarian. Honestly, I do see it happening, but I don't see it being a very long reign. I see Roman Reigns getting his title back within 2 months.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. That's where, honestly, I see Roman just wrecking everyone, spearing people through pods.
Yep.
And
I'll be
to be
okay
honest,
with that.
I'd pop I'd pop so hard if he actually speared someone through a pod.
If they're really going to do that, this is what they need to do. In the time between Royal Rumble of him losing it and Elimination Chamber, he needs to drop Heyman and Uso. He needs to go, you guys are useless to me. I don't need you. I can go on my own. And he just needs to go out there and just wreck the SmackDown roster for the next month.
Yes, this is partly why I'm thinking.
Be the guy who wrecks everyone and leaves.
Yeah, but I'm going with Kevin Owens, and that's my little prediction, maybe to leading up to Elimination Chamber. Okay. Anyway,
continuing on to the WWE Championship match: Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg.
Oh God!
Look.
I'm
not making a prediction.
I got a bunch of predictions.
I'm not making a prediction on this match because I already know what's going to happen. Goldberg's winning this match, and they're going to have their rematch at WrestleMania. Look,
this is my prediction.
Go ahead.
You're done talking.
No, go ahead, and I'll explain after.
I'm going to explain exactly what's going to happen. So, this match is going to be surprisingly over 10 minutes. They're going to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And you want to know what's going to happen? This match is going to turn into a triple threat where The Miz wins. So they can have Goldberg at the next pay-per-view win the title without pinning McIntyre. If they just don't do it tonight with him pinning Miz.
Goldberg's only contracted for 2 matches a year.
They'll sign him for another match if they have to.
Oh, okay. Now, hold on. Let me take that back. With the whole Peacock situation
they got $1 billion to work with now.
Yeah, so Vince got some spending money, so I guess I could see that. What I could also see is I don't know.
The Miz is going to turn this into a triple threat. That regardless, that's happening tonight. I do. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, because I love The Miz.
Or hold on. If the prediction of mine doesn't work out, The Miz comes in, enters the match, right? After the 2 men have beat the shit out of each other, right? Yeah. Enters the match, turns around, spear, done, pin. Goldberg wins.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I think The Miz is going to win, but if it's not that way, The Miz is getting speared by Goldberg.
I don't see him.
That's the only 2 ways it's happening.
I don't see him contracting Goldberg for more than 2 matches a year. If they do, I'll be surprised. With the way the WWE writing is going,
they think Goldberg's a big attraction. He's not. He's horrible. He's the worst wrestler on the roster.
I'm not gonna say he's not an attraction. He's definitely a pull for a crowd. But it's
I just don't understand
not as big as somebody like Brock Lesnar or Shawn Michaels is going to pull in. Yeah.
At least Brock Lesnar's believable, even if I don't like him when he's holding that title. I know he can kill everyone on that roster.
Yeah.
With his bare hands. I'm actually legitimately scared of Brock Lesnar. I think
that's what's going to happen is Miz will intervene close to the end of the match. He'll enter the match, get speared by Goldberg, and then pin. That way, they could still have their whole spiel of, McIntyre's like, I didn't get pinned, you didn't beat me, blah, blah, blah. I think McIntyre will go to Elimination Chamber and win a number 1 contenders match. Because whoever's winning the Rumble's going to SmackDown. He'll go to Elimination Chamber, he'll win that match, and then, of course, he's challenging Goldberg to WrestleMania.
And then he'll get his moment, which he should have got last year
Yeah.
because COVID fucked him over.
So overall,
I'm still pissed about
we say
that.
Goldberg's winning this match.
Goldberg or The Miz?
I don't want.
I'm gonna say The Miz. I'm gonna say The Miz. You can say just Goldberg.
I'm gonna say Goldberg. Moving on from that, we'll go to the Women's Royal Rumble match. We've already basically said who we think's winning that. You know,
it's gonna be Bianca Belair. It's no one else. It's Bianca Belair. Unless Rhea Ripley makes her SmackDown debut and somehow wins, or not SmackDown, but her debut and wins the Rumble. Which, as much as people would like be pissed, like, oh, you know, Rhea Ripley's been on NXT and then she made her debut, won the Rumble. Fuck you guys, Rhea Ripley's better than damn near all the wrestlers on the roster.
We have to determine the factor of the worst possibility to come out of this Royal Rumble. And yeah,
Nia Jax
people might not like this. And I hope it wouldn't happen because she's been out for a while, but Becky Lynch coming back and winning the Rumble.
I sort of be okay with that.
I would not.
But I don't think she's going to be back for the Rumble.
Well, that's the thing.
She just had her child. Right?
She's outside the range of how long she has to be off for.
Oh.
Now, as a new mother,
I don't think she's going to want to for a little while.
That's what I'm saying. I would hope that she wants to, especially with the pandemic and everything going on, I would hope that she wants to stay home with her newborn and everything.
Yeah.
But
like, you had a small child.
Yeah. But she is technically, if she's all good and everything, and the pregnancy, the birth and everything went okay, she is technically cleared. She's out of that range of, you know, how long you have to be off work and stuff after you have a kid.
So, surprise entrance. You think Becky Lynch is going to be one of them for
oh, definitely.
The women's?
Definitely.
Want to make some guesses on who else is going to be surprise entrance for SmackDown?
Look,
I have a couple in my head.
I want it to happen. I really do. I don't think it will happen, but Lita.
I think Lita and Trish are a good possibility.
Possibly.
I also think that maybe if they've been listening to her Twitter feed, Alundra Blaze wants to come back. She came back for, I think it was the last year's Rumble. She wants to actually have a real match.
Where's Ember Moon
like a
been?
real last match. What?
Where's Ember Moon been?
Oh yeah, she was a thing.
I think they shoved her back down to NXT with Finn, didn't they?
I don't fucking know.
I can see her popping up in it. But overall,
I wonder how injured
winning.
Naomi still is. I'd like to see Naomi come back, but I'm pretty sure she's probably still injured.
Overall, but like I said, I think Bianca's winning it because the whole Becky thing.
She's the only one that's really been built up to
exactly.
win it.
And I think Becky's going to come back on Raw and be like, look, Asuka, you got this title because I had to leave. I never lost it. Let's have a match. WrestleMania between me and you. She's going to win it back then. That's the way. I'll be okay with that. Because no, she technically didn't lose it. And Asuka's just holding that title for her. I don't care what anybody says. So I would be okay with that if she came back. She had a month or two to wrestle, get back into the motion of it, and then they have a great match at WrestleMania. Yeah. But if they bring her back and she wins that Rumble, I'm gonna be pissed.
So we're moving over to the Raw.
Yes, moving on to
Rumble.
the men's Royal
So
Rumble
before
match.
we talk about who we think's gonna win, we probably should have done this with the women first. So surprise entrance. Who do you think's gonna be a surprise entrant? I'm gonna throw out my first one. Just because I like to do this every year, just between you and me. But now we are doing a podcast. Just because eventually I'm gonna be right. CM Punk. I'm gonna keep throwing around until it happens.
But
so am I.
I don't know. It feels to me like
he left after a Rumble. Now he comes back in a Rumble. It'd be fine for me.
It could. I can see CM Punk being one. Seth Rollins is going to return.
Oh yes,
we know this.
I'm almost certain this is going to happen. Yeah.
A factor,
we already know Edge is coming back.
We know Edge is coming back. Braun's definitely going to be in it.
Well, we already got that confirmation, basically.
Yeah.
I'm throwing out.
I'm
throwing out one. No, he's still working for AEW, Nick. He's still working.
How
for
much
them.
of a contract does he have, though?
the same type of contract all of them have. They're allowed to work the independents, just not WWE.
I don't know. If it doesn't
and
happen,
he's in Japan right now. He's in Japan.
Oh, he's in Japan.
Yes,
Holy
he's
shit, I did not know
he's
that.
wrestling. He was wrestling someone just the other day in Japan. Like I guess he could make.
It's gonna happen before the end of the year.
No, it's not. Dean Ambrose is not coming back. He doesn't want to come back. He has no interest in coming back.
He already said never say never.
You know, wrestlers say that in general, just because
they
if Ultimate Warrior comes back,
they want to keep a good face with
like
companies.
if the Ultimate Warrior came back, just about anyone will eventually come back.
I don't know.
Maybe
it would be
not...
a nice surprise. It would, and at that point, I could see Vince paying out the money to hit his contract.
But what was I gonna say? Another one I think is gonna come back because they've already confirmed behind the scenes that he's probably gonna be at WrestleMania. I think Cena's coming back.
Oh yeah,
for the Rumble.
Cena's gonna be in there. He's not gonna win it, but he's definitely gonna make an appearance
with his new haircut.
Yeah, with his new haircut.
Any other people do you think is gonna make a surprise return?
I don't really know.
I can't think of anyone.
Anybody else been there?
Yeah, like I can't think of anyone that's not either declared or been on the roster. There's a few NXT guys that might get called up, but I haven't been watching NXT. So
and I want to not believe this. I really do, but there is a rumor going around that Undertaker might be wrestling in another match this year.
No.
And if they're going to do it, I don't see him doing it at WrestleMania. I just can't. And I would hope he wouldn't show up
be wrestling anymore in general.
He's retired, but it's a rumor. So if he's gonna pop up somewhere, I could see him popping up in like the Royal Rumble and fucking taking out somebody.
Yeah, but anyway, let's move on. Who we think's gonna win? This one's a little bit harder to predict. I think they've set up like 5 people to win.
They have.
You already know who I'm gonna guess.
Bryant.
Yeah, it's
Brian,
he's been set up the most.
Shinsuke Nakamura's in there.
He's been set up pretty well. Cesaro's been set up pretty well.
I love Cesaro. I want him to get a push.
Cesaro would make
Cesaro.
Those three, if they win, would make me pop so hard. Those are the 3 I want to win. But
I think it's going to be Seth Rollins.
Please no.
I hope not either. But
he's a good wrestler.
I think they want to try to set up and feed off of the. We were a team and Shield and everything, and try to give that whole connection to Roman and have him have a good connection for a match at WrestleMania.
He's not one to fucking talk. He's the one to hit him with the fucking chair.
Yes, but that's why it comes back to I could see the WWE trying to buy out Dean Ambrose's contract with AEW.
That's not gonna happen.
Well, because at that point that's why I said if he comes back, like if he was to come back as a shocker, I could see him winning the Rumble also. But since you said he's in Japan, I doubt he's going to be there. But I could see them bringing it to a triple threat for the Shield members at WrestleMania.
That might happen down the road, but
maybe
that should.
Well, that's
that
what
probably
I'm saying.
should actually.
That's what I'm saying.
It should have happened years ago.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. If Dean Ambrose doesn't happen tonight, I'm almost guaranteed in my own head that he comes back before WrestleMania.
Yeah. So, your guess is Seth Rollins?
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, but look, if it's my choice of who I want to win,
who would you want to win?
I go with Bryant.
Yes.
I think him and Roman could put on a great match. Roman's gotten better in his matches. I think it'd be good.
Dude, the Fastlane match they had,
exactly. Yes.
After
like
the year that he eliminated,
I
think they'd have a really good match too, in my opinion.
I don't think it would hold up.
What?
To me, Nakamura is more of the. I don't see him beating down big people.
I do.
Yeah.
He's not that small, actually.
I know he's not
bigger
tiny,
than Brian.
But I know, but Bryant has this charisma, like Benoit did when he's in the ring.
He's the small guy that just you love.
Like he wasn't like.
To be fair to Benoit. Benoit was jacked for a small guy.
Yes, exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
Roids do to you, but still.
Exactly. But they have that charisma. They're short, tiny guys, but they get in the ring and you're like, holy shit, how'd he get so big? I don't know. I couldn't see them trying to sell like a WrestleMania with Nakamura, or as much as I hate to say it, Cesaro. Brian
would
and
love it.
Rollins are their main eventers.
Brian would be an easy sell. It'd be a great main event. It would. You can give Brian his last big moment, and then have him retire if he wants.
I guarantee you it's going to be Rollins.
Why?
Because it's going to be this whole spill of, you're the head of your table, you think your family, well, I have a new family too, and blah, 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 blah. They're going to feed off this shit so much. Oh my God, I'd
throw up.
I will too, and they're going to feed off it so much.
But that's our Rumble predictions. We're actually going to keep this under an hour and a half. Like, last time we did an episode was about an hour and a half. But that's about all it's confirmed. If it happens, Bobby, this
Matt
is the last match we're talking. Yeah, okay.
I hate to say it, and honestly, if
I like Riddle as a wrestler, but
it's my choice, I want Lashley to just absolutely destroy him in the ring, and just like walk out of there, tell the Hurt Business to fudge off,
fuck off,
yeah,
or just beat the shit out of Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, but overall, I think the WWE is gonna let Riddle have his championship run.
Oh, that's gonna suck so bad. Like, I like Riddle. I know he can beat people's asses.
They're gonna put flip-flops on the
fucking
fucking title.
This dude, bro, is so dumb. What?
They're gonna put flip-flops on the fucking title.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's the show. If you guys enjoyed the Raw Smack and were listening on iTunes where we're on, how about give us a 5-star rating?
Other podcasts are available.
Yes, because we're basically everywhere.
And on
that was
YouTube.
A lot of hard work. And on YouTube. So leave us a comment if whatever you're watching or listening to us on, allow us comments. Give us a rating, 5 stars. Cha-ching. Give us those Meltzer 5 stars.
Leave a like. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube.
Or subscribe, actually, and follow on any other platform so you get notified every time we post a new episode. Anyway, I'm Cody.
And I'm Nick.
And you were listening to the Raw Smack Wrestling Podcast.